You are listening to the Michael Yaffee program, WNSC.UCF.edu online radio. I am here every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m., and I'm here every Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m., and I talk about things I'm talking about today. And you can email me you can email me anytime at michael.yaffee, michael.yaffee, two F's, two E's, at nights.ucf.edu. And if you want to instant message me during the show, you can. Radio WNSC. Also, if you can't make the show, I post every show on YouTube, Facebook, my blog. You have an opportunity to get the show if you can't hear it right off. So, and also I am now interning for Bud Hettinger's morning show, 540 WFLA, and sometimes every now and then he lets the rank amateur intern say a few things. So I thank him for that, and I will be at the Monster Truck Show tonight at the 540 WFLA tent. So if you want to come say hello, talk about how big of a fan you are. Yeah, I know you really want to talk to Bud, but if you want to talk about how big of a fan you are, you can come and say hello to me. I will be there working, helping out. So I have something here from the Washington Times. We're talking about healthcare, and it's a great article, and really it's kind of sad. Why? It's kind of sad. What? Oh gosh, this computer! I swear, it's being really weird for some reason today. Okay, it's from Terry Michael of the Washington Times, and it's entitled an obituary for healthcare reform. The poor guy wasn't killed by a conservative Tea Party. He drowned in liberal Kool-Aid. You know, before I read this though, I gotta set the mood here because it's just such a sad occasion, and it's just very tragic. And what's going on? Here we go. Okay. I'm going to try to get through this. Healthcare reform died January 19th in Massachusetts. Shortly before his 19th birthday. Oh, he was so young. He was a victim of a mass suicide pact by economic left liberals, swilling Kool-Aid they've been drinking for years to satisfy a thirsty obsession for replacing marketplace accountability with government mandates. I know, it's very hard. Though he lived a short and troubled life, healthcare reform captured the imagination of the media and Democratic political consultants throughout the land for almost 2 decades. Reform, as he was known in the popular press, usually without the quotes, was born in 1991, the son of a Medicare and Medicaid who survived barely. Both children of the 60s. Also surviving and sucking up tax dollars like mother's milk. And his reform's baby sister, dope. Drugs for old people everywhere. The one night stand. 2003 love child of a trios that included Medicare, Medicaid, and the oxymoronic hustler big government conservative Republican Karl W. Rove. The unfortunate victim of Democratic hubris was predeceased by his grandfather, Mr. Tax-Exempt Health Insurance, born around 1947. The bastard child of wage price controls and big labor unions. Though both great-grandparents are dead, their ghosts haunt the fruited plains from sea to shiny sea, leading the gullible to believe you can have a free healthcare lunch if you divorce Mr. Price from his choice. It's so sad. Reform was reared in Pennsylvania during the 1991 special election for the U.S. Senate seat that opened when Senator John Hines died in a helicopter crash. The appointed Senator Harris Wofford, a liberal Democrat, adopted reform on the advice of his consultants, skilled politicized medicine practitioners James Carville and Paul Begali. Dressing little reform in populist clothes, the pair had Mr. Warford kissed baby reform at every whistle stop while railing against evil insurance companies and big pharma firms who stood in reform's way. To make a long story short, Hillary loved that child reform so much that she persuaded Bill to let her bring him to the White House. But after an awful first year, reform became ill in 1993. A tough little guy, he survived on life support for years, while cousin welfare was embraced by Bill as the new and improved reform after a little political unhappiness for the nation's first political couple occurred in 1994. But reform, by then a teenager, got his second big break. The presumptive presidential nominee for 2008, Miss Hillary Care, trotted out her stepchild and made him the centerpiece of her campaign of leader of the free healthcare world. That left the self-appointed trial lawyer to the underclass, John Edwards, and the upstart from Illinois' Barack Obama no choice. They had to produce their own healthcare reform babies. Hope prevailed and Mr. Obama won the race, and reform got a new daddy who declared he loved reform so much he would stake his political life on the boy. Alas, the rest is history. Crazy Tea Partiers all but smothered the teenager in the summer of his 18th year. And then some Cosmo-centered centerfold came out of nowhere to seal reform's fate shortly before his 19th birthday, when angry voters in a state made famous by a Tea Party dumped the Democrats overboard. Reform drowned in a sea of liberal Kool-Aid. Funeral services will be private, as the family now wishes to keep reform to itself in lieu of flowers. They request donations be made to the Democratic House and Central Campaign Committees. So sad. Try not to cry. See, the American people spoke out, Miss Pelosi. They voted in Scott Brown to get rid of it, to kill it, so he could be that 60th, so he could take away that 60th vote, so you couldn't have a filibuster-proof bill. And because you were so cocky and so arrogant, thinking that you could pass 2,000-page healthcare bill, you talked about it, you went to the press, thinking the American people were too gullible, or they weren't paying attention. Instead, they did the opposite. They rose up. The Tea Partiers who first protested against government spending rose up again and smothered baby health care. Well, I guess he was a teenager. But don't worry. The likes of Nancy Pelosi, the statists, the liberals in Washington, they're not done. No, they have more on their mind. They have no desire to get rid of this, as Nancy Pelosi said. She's going to go around the American people. She's going to go up, under, over, through, teleport, float over, I don't know. She's going to do something. Let's hope this obituary stays true. Let's hope the healthcare stays in the private sector, because the private sector is full of individuals trying to take care of each other and themselves. Not a central government who cares nothing but growing itself. Well, I'm going to play a song here real quick, and then we'll be back. The Green Movement, the global warming movement, has a new promoter, a new spokesman. No, it's not Al Gore's little brother. I don't even know if he has a brother. It's not Al Gore's little mini-me. Does he have a mini-me? He probably does somewhere. No, it's someone you're not going to expect. You were listening to the Michael Yaffee program, WNSC.UCF.edu online.